Hey guys, I'm just coming off of a Facebook group and I just saw something that I had to do a video on. I couldn't wait. All right, I was actually supposed to do a whole different video this week, but we're doing it on this because there's this mom and she needs help. And I'm doing this video for her because I was that mom and you might have been too. So what she was saying is, besides a lot of other things she has going on because of ADHD, she loses it with her kids. And there's two different kinds of losing it. There's the yelling and hating that you're yelling and then being really overreactive. And then there's they're being annoying and you think they're not supposed to be annoying. And so then there's that reaction too. Two different things. The first one, the way to solve this problem is you're having some sort of a fear that is causing that overreaction. And the way that would look with me, just to give you an example, is I was a homeschool mom. I say was because they're going to school next year. If the world is normal, it seems like it's going to be. So what happens is, and I'll give you an example, is like one of my kids was supposed to be doing their work and their schoolwork, and they weren't actually doing their schoolwork. And my fear would be something like, oh, they're going to fail. They're not going to learn what they're supposed to learn. This is a serious problem. And all kinds of thoughts like that just keep happening. And then how do I feel? I feel scared. I feel anxious. And I lose it. And I noticed, and I used to yell all the time. I feel so bad for my kids that they had to go through that because I almost never yell now. And what I noticed was I just started noticing that thought that would come up. And I would realize that that thought wasn't true. And that was the case, right? I don't know their future. I don't know that the fact that they skipped 5 math assignments means they're going to live on the streets. Like, it was a complete and ridiculous overreaction, and it was fear-based. And I had actually shared this with another client, and because she was having the same kind of issue. And I think it really helped her as well. And notice those fear-based reactions with your kids or with your friends, or if you're having this kind of emotional dysregulation where you're getting like way too angry or way too upset and you're just really losing it. Notice what you're thinking. With a spouse, is it that you're thinking that they're rejecting you somehow and you're afraid? What is that thought? And it's interesting that this comes up because I just got off a call where I'm with somebody I'm probably going to coach with. And we were talking about how it works, how I coach. And that model really works itself out, because if we keep reacting to our kids that way, what's going to happen? It's not going to serve them well in life, right? And so we're afraid that whatever that thing that happened is not going to serve them well in life, but we're actually causing that to happen with our thinking. And so if we can change this for people, if we can let moms know, so much less yelling can happen. And, kudos to those of you that just don't yell. Like, that's wonderful. When I hear of people that just, oh, my dad never yelled at me in his whole life, I'm like, my goodness, I don't know how you do that. But now I'm like, oh, well, he just doesn't think the thoughts that we think when we yell. And I thought yelling was just, that's the way it was. Like, I'm just a yeller. There are no options here. This is life. But now it almost never happens because that thought comes up and I see it and I'm like, oh no, I'm on to you now. And it is always fear-based. It's me fearing that they're not going to turn out the way they're supposed to because of this thing that's happening. Maybe because they can't clean up their room, or maybe because they can't clean up after themselves in the kitchen. Like, I would have yelled at them about things like this before. And now I'm just like, well, that's ridiculous. And I just calmly tell them what I need them to do. An example like this was, I found out again, the same kid wasn't doing their work. And I just went to him and I said, what are you doing instead? And he was playing games instead. And that's why he hadn't done these several assignments that he was supposed to do. And I just calmly said, what do you need to do to fix this? And he was quick. Like, he had to 20 assignments. But he's like, I'm going to do 5 assignments a day until I get this caught up. And I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's get that done. And that is a night and day situation from what it would have been before. I would have yelled. He would have cried. I might have cried. And then I feel guilty for yelling. Like, it would have just been terrible. But now we don't have to do that, because now we have coaching and we understand our brains better so that we can disrupt that emotional dysregulation that we have. Well, we can improve upon it, I should say, and we can disrupt the impulsivity because we're catching those thoughts. We're coaching ourselves. We're getting coaching. We're on to the fact that we're thinking that's causing that result. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, I have a series of videos where it goes through this, and I'll put it at the end of the video so you can check those out. If you would like to work with me on this situation or something close to it, maybe it's fighting with a spouse, maybe it's fighting with a parent, maybe it's yelling at your kids, I would love to work with you on this because I understand this one. I understand. I don't think my clients really ever come to me with anything I don't understand, except maybe brain fog. That one I don't really understand, but I was talking to a client, not the most recent one, but I one yesterday, and I said, is it possible that you're daydreaming? Because she was inattentive and I'm hyperactive. And she said, oh yeah, I would say that's exactly what's happening. And I'm like, oh, I understand brain fog now. Like, I'm not a big daydreamer. I'm hyperactive, and so I'm having all kinds of thoughts, but I wouldn't call it daydreaming, where I'm just like, I'm kind of off. And so it makes me excited to understand the inattentives a little bit more. Tell me if I'm wrong about that. Tell me if you say in the comments, like, no, it's brain fog. It's different than daydreaming. I would love to hear it, because I want to understand all my clients thoroughly. And that is one where I just don't quite understand it. And so I would be super excited if anybody could fill me in on that. So what I was getting at, though, is check out the links if you want to work with me on this or anything like it, or your time management, your organization and planning, any of the executive function skills. What I do and how I do it is we together decide what skills you're lacking most in, and I can make a plan for you, or you can decide which ones you want to work on first. And a lot of times it's time management that everybody wants to fix first, and you're so right in wanting to do that, because if the key to the universe is being a person that can do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it. And that is what I teach. That is what I live for myself. And yet at the same time, I want to say giving yourself grace for when life goes wrong. Giving yourself grace for when you have to go to plan B. It's not a perfect system. It's not rigid, because life is not perfect. And so I think when people hear me talk about time management, they're like, oh no, it's too rigid. I can't handle it. No, it's managing your time. It's telling your time what to do. And that's a huge distinction from your calendar telling you what to do. You're the one setting up the calendar. You get to plan in the joy. You get to plan in the time with your family. You get to plan in your hobbies, your relaxation time. You get to plan in all that stuff first, and then you fit in the rest around it. And if you find you don't have enough room, then we move things around. We make things smaller if we have to. Maybe your relaxation time isn't as long because you have a 9 to 5. You know, whatever it is. So what we do is we work on an executive function skill or two, and usually that's time management for people. There's all the executive function skills, though, that we can work on. And then we manage your mind on working on that skill, because what's going to happen is you're going to start working on that skill and you're going to get very uncomfortable. You're going to have lots of thoughts about that situation and whether you can do it or not, and whether it's the right system or not, and whether you have all kinds of thoughts that come up that maybe you're not the kind of person that can do this. There's all kinds of stuff that happens, and we work together to manage your mind on that so that you can get up and try again and get up and try again and get up and try again. It's just like riding a bike, and pretty soon you've got the skill. And when you've got the skill, you can apply that skill to every other skill that you need to work on, and you have solved all your problems. And so that's what coaching does. That's what I do with my ADHD coaching. I don't know about other people, but I know that's what's worked in my life. I know that's what works with my clients, and that's how I do it. So www.learntothrivewithadhd.com, or you can check out the links in the comments. I think you can even book a call from the banner in my Facebook channel. So feel free. It's free, 30 minutes. We can coach on something you're having an issue with. I just explained how the program works, but we could talk more about that. And I just love to meet people like me that are struggling. And, well, I was struggling. I still struggle. I'm human. We struggle every day. There's always something new, right? It's never over. But it can get so much better, and that's the good news. And so to this mom on Facebook, I gave her a big, long message, and I kind of coached her on it, and I hope it helps. But I had to make a video about it because I know I'm not the only one. I know she's not the only one. I know there's all kinds of moms out there with ADHD and moms without ADHD that just have problems with emotional regulation, that are yelling at their kids and are feeling terrible about it. They're feeling like bad moms, and I just want that gone. It's like getting rid of cancer. We need to stop the guilt. We need to stop the yelling, and we need to feel good about ourselves along the way. So I will shut up now. Until next time, guys. I hope this video worked out. I had some technical issues right in the middle there, so hopefully it's all good. But I am going to do my video that I plan to do, which I keep telling you I'm going to do on decision batching. It's kind of part of the time management. And that's the one I was going to do today, but I got riled up on the internet, and here I am. So I hope this helped somebody. Even if you don't know, sorry, I'm tripping over my words. Even if you never reach out to me, I hope this helped you. I hope next time you go to react, and look forward to going to react, because that's an opportunity for you to work on this. You can stop yourself and you can go, okay, what am I thinking? All right? That's the process. And if you're just thinking something that's not true, there's no need to yell. You can back off of that situation. You can calm down. And then next time it comes up again, you already know. You're already on to yourself. All right? Good luck. This one's for the moms, even dads. I don't know. The dad in my house is not a yeller. So not that he never yells. He does. And if he coached himself like this, he would know why he's yelling. But moms or dads, I know how it feels to yell and to feel guilty about it. And so I hope this helps. All right. Bye, guys.